God said it wasn't good for man to be alone, and yet here I am, single, alone. But does that mean that God is not good? You see, in the recesses of my mind, I often wondered that when I was single. When you're single, you often wonder if anyone out here understands what you're going through, and I'm here to tell you today, I do. Because for 20 years, I struggled as a single man. Let's talk about loneliness. You see, I know what it's like trying to be happy for all of your friends when you see them getting married, but all the while you wonder when or if your time will ever come. And when it's the night of the wedding, you envy what you know your newly married friends are doing as you sit in the bed and spend another lonely night by yourself watching Netflix, reminded of the fact that this covenant gift of intimacy is still off limits for you. I remember scrolling through all of my contacts on my phone thinking, surely there has to be someone in here I can call to go out with tonight. And then the only person you find is an ex that you have no business calling, but you do anyway because it's so easy to settle for what's familiar rather than to be alone. I know what it's like to begin asking yourself the question, is there something wrong with me? Is that the reason why I'm still single? At times you become angry with God because you know if God really wanted to, he could send the right person your way, but he chooses to leave you alone, and we begin to start blaming God for our singleness. I know what it's like to have a super high moment and not have anyone special to share it with. I also know what it's like to go through a low point, a low season in your life, and have no one to walk through it with you. Everyone around you tells you to wait on God, but it's easy for them to say that when they're all booed up. I know what it's like to silently shake my fists in the face of every married person who just tells me to keep on waiting on the Lord and to dedicate myself exclusively to serving the Lord during this season. It's easy for them to say that when they have a warm body to lay next to at night. I got tired of hearing all my married friends tell me that my standards were too high and that looks aren't important. Just focus on what's on the inside, Alan, they said. But their spouses were always easy on the eyes. Single Christian, I know what it's like to take an inventory of your life and come to the depressing conclusion that no matter where you go, there is not one potential prospect on your radar to date. Now let's talk about sex. See, I know what it's like to be so sexually frustrated that you're one phone call away from just giving in to the desires of your flesh. I know what it's like to have to choose between abstinence, self-pleasure, and fornication on a daily basis, feeling like it's a no-win situation no matter what you choose. My friend, I know what it's like to fall into temptation and to have to look God in the face afterwards, knowing that you just broke his heart again for just a few moments of pleasure. Now let's talk about dating. I know what it's like to try every online dating platform, trying desperately to find that right person, and you end up with so many options, but none of them are exactly who you're looking for, which then leaves you even more depressed. I also know what it's like to feel like a loser because you have to resort to online dating. I know what it's like to get my heart broken and to have to deal with the guilt of breaking someone else's heart too. I know what it feels like for a relationship that you thought would be forever to end, and now you have to start all over again with someone new, telling them all of the private details and secrets of your life again. I know what it's like to have a past experience that you're ashamed to share with someone new, and you wonder if they will still see you the same if you muster up enough courage to share your deepest secrets, flaws, and failures with them. See, whenever you get hurt in a relationship, you either close your heart off and vow never to let anyone hurt you again, or you start using people to meet your own needs. Either way, you go through life keeping your guard up. You get tired of going to church and all the sermons and illustrations are all about married people, and you're sitting there and you can't relate because you're not married, and you get frustrated because there's a ministry for every other people group in the church except a ministry to singles. This is the life of so many single Christians who suffer in silence, wondering if anyone can relate. Does anyone see me? Does anybody feel me? My friend, I lived it for 20 years. But I also know how quickly God can change a situation from looking like it was impossible to something amazingly beautiful. I know what it's like to go from feeling like all hope is lost to now having a beautiful family, something at some point in my life I questioned whether it was even possible. I know what it's like to finally get married at the age of 40 and thinking, thank you, God, that I waited because this is finally right. I know what it's like now to enjoy intimacy without the fruit of guilt, hurt, shame, and defeat. Yeah, I've been exactly where you are, and if nobody else sees you, I see you. If nobody else understands you, I understand you. If nobody else feels you and understands what you're going through, I can, because I've been there. And I'm here to remind you that when you fall on your face and fail, our loving God will be right there to forgive you and restore you. I'm here to encourage you not to give up, not to stop trying, not to lose hope, not to close your heart, and to decide not to let anyone else in, because you'll never experience the beauty of being fully known and fully loved if you give up hope that things will ever change in your life. You'll never experience this if you close your heart off from someone new in fear that if you let someone in, you just might get hurt again. You see, my friend, in order to experience the rewards of true love, you have to risk being hurt. And you'll never experience the joy of a God-centered marriage if you keep settling for unequally yoked relationships. So, my single Christian, I'll end with this. Waiting is tough. And man, I know it is. But the only thing worse than waiting is later on wishing that you had.